I am going to show what the status is currently on my garden. It is May 30th, 2012, 8:30 in the morning, and I'm going to give some status right now. Flipping around, I did some tomato plants in pots. They're about 2 feet tall, not counting the pot, and maybe a little taller. They are starting to get the buds coming out. The bees have been around. I got another tomato plant over in the middle of the garden. The two that are in the pot seem to be doing better than the one that's over in the garden. The one in the garden looks pretty bad, although it has lots of buds on it. It did fall on the ground because when it was in a pot sitting on a table, and so took the trauma of falling on the ground. And there's probably some leaves that I should just cut off because they're probably dead as a result of the fall. That would probably make it look better. Anyway, these are just a couple of chili pepper plants. I've got some more of those. Those did not grow very well last year. Figured I'd try them again this year. They're very slow growers. I think that I might tend to overwater them. I don't water them too much, but they just are really slow growers in this climate. The first thing that I planted this year was some bush snap peas, and they are right there. They started coming up and just falling over. I thought they were looking a lot like the pole peas, the way they came up, because they were just falling up and had the tentacles and were falling over on the side and just kind of flat to the ground. I asked a friend's advice, and he said that they do have that appearance as bush beans, and you got to give them some support. I kind of did a little makeshift trellis with some stuff that would provide support with some little stakes and string. Anyway, so those they're standing up a little bit better now, and hopefully they'll do better. There's 4 broccolis. I bought them as starters. They were a little tiny, about 3 inches high when I got them. They are growing really well, really strong, and look really, really good. If you work this direction, this is from about 2.5 weeks ago. I planted those bush green beans, 2 rows that will grow together to some extent. Those grew really well last year. And then over here is, I kind of built it up, so I'm going to get rid of those boards and replace them with something that supports the dirt. But I built it up to give a little bit of a raised garden bed in the carrot area with some good dirt, because last year that's what I did with carrots, and they grew really well in doing it that way. Next up is what's shaped in the letter of an A, which is more of the green beans, just because I think those are a good thing to grow. I got a lot of those growing, and in fact I got even more of them growing. If you look at right there, you'll see a K. That the A is for Austin. The K, which hasn't sprouted at all yet, is for Caitlin and Kevin. And I planted on the top of the K pinto beans, which have like a 100-day harvest period of time, and so I won't see much from that for a while. On the bottom half of the K, I planted these really cool green beans that grow like a foot long. They're like Asia green beans, and looked, like I said, really cool. The other pinto beans looked like they had some color to them as well. But that was the last place that I planted in this particular location. I was trying to figure out what I hadn't planted yet that I wanted to plant, and so finally figured that out over this past weekend. So nothing's coming up there. Just planted it 2 days ago, and so it'll be a week before I see much there. The next row over there is actually the shape of a J. That is for Jason, and I just use that as a place to plant more onions in a more organized fashion than I had planted them before, and they are doing well. They look like nothing about a week and a half ago, and now they're about 10 inches tall. Over there is an S for Shanna and Sydney. I planted a bunch of cucumber seeds. I'm going to thin those out once they get a little bit bigger, and so those will hopefully take off and do well. There are no more letters, just the A, the K, the J, and the S. There's a zucchini right there. I'm going to walk around. So just some more peppers. Right here I planted a cabbage, then there are 4 cauliflowers, and then another cabbage down on the end. Right here I planted 3 in 3 locations in that hill, 3 varieties of squash. Those will be bunched up obviously at some point in time. That's right where the S was at. Back on the back side I planted like 3 rows of radishes, which obviously I need to thin out. And further up there I planted lettuce, which it's leaf lettuce. We'll see how that grows there. The dirt wasn't the best right there. I hadn't really added much of the better soil to that particular area. But if you look at this angle, you see my support that I put there for 2 things. One on this side are pole green beans. There's a row that's come up there. They're about 3 to 4 inches tall. And then on that end where it's a little darker green, those are the pole snap peas. So I got right there, I have pole snap peas. Here I have bush snap peas. I'm thinking that I want to plant more of those just because those are probably the thing that we actually eat out of this thing that we kind of like as a snack every now and then. This is my tomato plant that's doing terrible. Anyway, over here I have a whole bunch of garlic that I planted. Those things are well over 2 feet tall. And then on the back side there's a little row of onions. Right here is 3 different varieties of potatoes that are growing that I did just for fun, just to see what that would be like. And so those are obviously very healthy looking plants. I let them grow and then buried more, and then they grew, and I would continue to bury more and more of what was growing. They're probably about 15 to 18 inches deep in the ground, and then what's on top is what's on top. Once that dies, then that's presumably the time that a person could pull those up. My grapevines are doing their thing. I'm waiting for them to kind of get up to that wire so I can start training them to go across that wire. The other grapevine right there, and then down there I need to weed. There's a couple of raspberry bushes that who knows what those are going to do this year, but they're there and they look healthy enough. But anyway, that's a shot of my garden overall so far, having been working on it for about a month in weather that was not exactly the best. And that's the end.